Hey, how's it going, you guys? It's petplatypus here, and it's time to review a couple of episodes of The Legend of Korra. Those couple of episodes being the finale, starting with episode 13. This was actually pretty badass. We get Korra fighting Vaatu a little bit, or not Vaatu, well yeah, fighting Vaatu actually. She fights him a little bit, she's almost beat, she throws Unalaq outside the portal, but he does end up getting back in with the help of his stupid-ass twins that really need to fucking turn against him, but they freeze Mako and Bolin, and Mako should be able to escape with firebending. And also, I want to mention probably my last review, when they were all chained up by Unalaq and Boomy had to come in and rescue them. I know they're all chained up, but they can still bend, right? Like, Aang, when he was chained up, he could get anywhere he wanted to with airbending. He was a beast while chained up, so that was a little, that threw me off, really. Like, they could all, like, just Tenzin, he's a master airbender. You could not just chain someone up by the hands. That's a plot hole right there. They should not have been captured. That was dumb, but anyway. Yeah, and Mako should be able to use firebending. He should be able to heat himself up and melt the ice, but whatever. He can't move his body at all, so I'll buy this more than I buy the other one, but anyway. What else? Yeah, they get frozen. Unalaq comes back in there. He fuses with Vaatu, and he becomes the Dark Avatar. And from there, the fighting is just epic. Him versus Korra is just beastly. A Dark Avatar versus the real Avatar. That was badass. They got, like, the water tornado. I like that he doesn't have all the elements, because that wouldn't make any sense, because the reason why the Avatar has all the elements is because all the elements were given to him by the different lion turtles. So it wouldn't make sense for him to suddenly have all the elements just from fusing with Vaatu. So I like that he's still just using water bending. And what ends up happening is they're fighting it out, epic water tornadoes and fire bending, all this epic shit, and she almost gets crushed in like a little mini canyon, and not really a canyon, but like a giant crack in the ground, and Korra almost gets crushed, and that was badass, and she gets out, and they keep fighting. She Avatar states it up. Like, she keeps going in and out of the Avatar state, like, a lot. It's kind of weird. You think she'd just stay in it, but maybe it's a precaution in case she gets killed suddenly and she doesn't want to end the cycle. Of course, the cycle might be in jeopardy anyway, because we get a scene where Rava gets pulled out of her, and Vaatu just proceeds to just beat the shit out of her. Just, like, pick her up, slam, whip, just, like, beating the shit out of this fucking thing. You see the Avatar spirits dying inside of Korra, which is kind of weird. I don't know, I guess it kind of makes sense, but it's a little bit weird. I don't know. She's extremely weak without Rava inside of her. And, yeah, then Vaatu just suddenly, well, Vaatu and Unalaq just suddenly just transform into this giant humanoid-looking Vaatu, which I prefer because, I don't know, watching Korra beat up a giant kite is kind of boring, honestly. It's not boring, it was cool watching her fight, it's a giant kite, though. That's all Rava and Vaatu look like. They look like giant kites that you'd fly, like, at a park. So, I mean, yeah, so that's a little bit cooler to see him like a humanoid version. He's all giant and whatever. We'll see where things go. I'm not really sure what kind of bullshit needs to be pulled out of whoever's ass, because we get Boomy, Kaya, there we go, combine their names. Boomy, Kaya, and Tenzin's side of the story. They rescue Jinora. There was a really cool, we got another Iroh cameo, that was cool. And then we got a nice little cameo from fucking Admiral Zhao from the first series. That was really awesome. I did not expect that at all. And it makes sense that he was pulled into the spirit world because of what happened in The Last Airbender. But yeah, I mean, that was a cool cameo, and Tenzin ends up, you know, basically his character comes full circle, and he finally says, you know what, I'm not my dad, I'm me. Pretty much fully identifying himself, and he breaks the fog just long enough so he can get everyone out, and then the fog comes back. I'm glad the fog was not permanently gone. That would have been stupid. Two things I want to mention about their journey, though. Well, I'm 4 fingers, but 2 things I want to mention about their journey. 1, the mushroom was fucking hilarious. That was greatness. 2, I love the design on the spider, scorpion, crab, lantern, fish thing. That thing was awesome. Very creative. Yeah, that's pretty much the entire episode. Some cool Mako Bolin action. Bolin crying and kind of fake acting, but not really, to get Eska to work with him. That was cool. Let me see, what else? That's pretty much the whole episode. Just really, really good action. Good story progression. You know, things are looking pretty fucking dire, but they've been looking pretty fucking dire for a few episodes now, so you know. But yeah, the fighting was cool. Like I said, they rescued Jinora. That's good story progression. Tenzin had really, really good character development. I'm going to go around a 9 out of 10 for this episode. I thought it was actually pretty great. My only negatives is all the Avatar spirits, you know, fading away. Like, I don't really know what that's supposed to mean or represent. Like, is Korra going to be the last Avatar? Like, what's going on? And, you know, how, like, what kind of, like, I can't, because, like, it looks like Rava died. Probably didn't, but it looks like Rava died, so it's like, well, I know Spirit can't die, but... And what the hell's Jinora gonna do? Like, it would have been nice for Jinora to have, like, hints at her spirituality in the first season. Because she's probably been hiding it all her childhood, but... You'd think we would have had hints. They probably just pulled this out of their ass for the second season, which is fine, but... With no hinting or development, it's gonna feel kind of weird if she pulls some, like, crazy shit out, and it's like, okay, well, Jinora can do that, apparently. I don't know, we'll see where it goes. The writing in this whole season is fairly sloppy, even though I am enjoying it. It's not the best written. Like, the basic story and everything that's happening is good. It's just not... It's the presentation and the execution that need a lot of work, but... Regardless, I'll go 9 out of 10 for this episode. I really, really enjoyed it. And now I will talk about 14. Okay, you guys, so, episode 14. Why do these finales always have to do something stupid that pisses me off, that makes no sense? In the first season, it was her going into the Avatar state, her lowest low being losing her connection to most of the elements. And then all of a sudden she gets it back instantly. That was, like, really rushed in the first season, and that upset me. It wasn't, like, the worst thing ever, but it was a little sloppily handled. This, though, the overall episode is fine. You get... Vaatu on this Pacific Rim type shit, just fucking Vatunalok, just going ham on the whole city. We get one cool Beifong scene where she saves the president, not that impressive, she sucks in this season. Some other cool action with him wrapping the city with vines. Varric escaping was fucking hilarious, of course. Let's see, what else happened? I'm trying to think before I get to, like, the actual fight itself. Yeah, he's wrapping the city up. We see General Iroh real quick. Nothing special. He wasn't really in this season too much. Would have been nice if we saw more of him, but, you know. Korra, you know, she lost her connection and everything, and she thinks she's the last Avatar, and they go to the Tree of Time or whatever, and she sees all these memories, and she meditates, and you see the cosmic path that Aang took before. Aang did not have to go to the fucking Tree of Time in order to get to that pathway, but whatever, it's fine. She remerges with that Avatar spirit thing, and she becomes like this giant Korra, and then they have like this giant Jaeger Pacific Rim fight, which was pretty cool. She shoots like this fucking cleavage beam, that was kind of weird. Then they have like a beam struggle on some DBZ shit, and then she overpowers him. They fight some more. He gets some hits in, she gets some hits in. I'm glad it's like a somewhat even fight, but when she's about to lose... Jinora shows up out of nowhere, no explanation, saves Korra. Rava is suddenly reborn inside Vaatu, which they established that before, but just the way they brought her back so quickly and there's like no explanation. Korra just reaches in, pulls her out, and it's just like... It's so sloppily handled. Like, what did Jinora do? There's no explanation. Why is she capable of doing it? How does she know how to do it? Like, it makes no sense. Unless someone can explain that to me, because, like, we knew she was spiritually gifted. Okay, fine. But why the fuck? Like, what, did the little bunny dragonfly things tell her? Like, I don't get it. And then we get some cool action scenes with, like, Bolin and Mako and Tenzin and Kaya defending Korra's body from the spirits. Those were some cool action scenes, and Eska and Desna show up, and the organ that pumps blood through my body, that was hilarious. And another funny line was when Jinora's mom, Tenzin's wife, Pema, when she sees Jinora and she's like, "You be careful, honey," that was funny. But you just see Jinora doing this, and it's just like, when could you do this? Like, this is so... Like, this is the one part of the episode that I have to just call flat out bad. Like, it just wasn't properly explained. Maybe I missed something. Maybe something was said You know, I don't, you know, I've just watched the whole season. I haven't rewatched it. I haven't gone back through and, like, seen everything again and watched every little detail, but as far as I can tell, that was pretty stupid. Anyways, the rest of it, though, she does the spirit bending thing, and she pretty much kills Unalaq. And Vatu's gone too, but he'll just probably be reborn, I guess, the same way Rava was. But it'll probably take way more time. She merges with Rava again, and she's the Avatar fully again, but apparently her connection to the other Avatars is still gone, so we don't know if she's the last Avatar still or not, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, and then she also decides to leave the spirit bridges open, which is massive. That's massive fucking story progression, because now things are going to go back the way they were in Wan's time. Well, aside from the cities on the turtles, but that's pretty much, you know, it's going to go back to spirits living with humans, and that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that's handled in the third season. I'm definitely very interested, because that's just kind of enormous. I didn't think they'd do that. I figured she'd close them or something, but no, she decided to actually change the world. So yeah, that's definitely massive progression, and you know, you got cool action overall. There was cool action, good, great, fantastic fucking story progression. And yeah, the villain's dead, Vatu got defeated, everything was all cool, and there's this massive scale and a ton of fucking explosions and lights and all this Michael Bay shit. But that Jinora stuff just bugs the shit out of me, and it was part of the final climax. I mean, that's a big fucking drawback of the episode. I mean, them fighting as giants is kind of weird too, but it's not that bad. Like, that's the least of the problems as far as that whole fight goes. The fight was okay, that was fine, but yeah, I don't know. That Jinora stuff was just really poorly handled to me. Again, unless there is some kind of explanation that they were building up to throughout the entire season, some crazy shit like that, maybe. But as far as I can tell right now, that was bad. So, you got a good with the action. You have a fantastic with the story progression and the world progression. You get just all-around cool, great comedy. Mako and Korra broke up. Boo-hoo. It was mutual this time, though, and they know that they can't stay together, and fine, whatever. You guys had no chemistry to begin with. If this is just another way to extend them getting together again in Season 3, oh my god, that's gonna be bad. But, yeah. We'll just wait and see. Hopefully she finds someone new. Bolin, maybe. Bolin and her. I still say Bolin's date with her in the first season is like the most chemistry we've seen of any couple in this entire Korra series. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm just trying to make sure I cover everything. Yeah, pretty much everything, all the most important parts. So yeah, I mean, overall, I want to give this episode like a 9.5 out of 10 for all the massive progression and the comedy and the action. But that Jinora stuff is just like, wow. So I'm gonna have to bump it down to like an 8.5 or like an 8.8. I mean, that just to me, just, I don't know. Again, I'll say it one more time. It could have been explained at some point. Maybe it was. At some point throughout the series, there was a subtle hint. I don't know. The original Avatar has all kinds of subtle hints to stuff. But yeah. If it was, then fine. But if it wasn't, bad. Very, very bad. So I'll set this around an 8.8. As far as a two-part finale, I thought this was better than the first season finale in terms of scale, action, and world progression. But the first season's finale, the two-parter, was way more tightly written and just a better told finale. So yeah. But yeah, overall, season 2 of Korra, I can see why people might not like it. I can really see it. I don't think it's bad, but it was a good story. It was good ideas handled sloppily, and it just wasn't good execution. So I can see why people wouldn't like this season. I think it's okay. I think it's solid, just not as good as the first season. And obviously not as good as any of the seasons of the original Avatar, but yeah. So 8.8, that's my final score. And yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of these episodes of Korra. Tell me what you guys think of Season 2 overall. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.